You know, one of the most common questions that I get asked is how can I reduce my freight costs? So in this video, I'd like to give you some starter tips on how to do exactly that. Now, if you're wondering where we are, this is Sydney Harbour. It's 7 a.m. in the morning. We came up here just to watch the sunrise over the Pacific, which was pretty cool. And I thought this would be a great place to show you a bit of Sydney and talk about freight costs. Okay, so that most common question I get, how to reduce my freight costs. And let me give you three things to think about just while we're here at Sydney Harbour. If you've never been to Sydney, an amazing harbour, we thought we'd come out here at dawn to shoot this one. So we're just watching the sunrise over the Pacific. I can't see it now, it's gone around the corner, but a huge cruise ship just came in. So reducing freight costs, what's all that about? The first thing that people generally try to do is to attack the rate itself. What do I mean by that? Well, it's the dollars per ton, the dollars per pallet, whatever that you're paying. And they try, let's say they're paying $30 a pallet for delivery and they try to get 29 or 28. That's really not the way to go about it, because you need to realize first that freight transport is very low margin, and if you're just trying to attack the price, you're really not going to get very far. What you've always got to do is to try and reduce the cost to the freight company and therefore the price to you. So a couple of things to think about. First of all, are you paying the right rate structure? Let me just move around here out of the sun. So by that I mean, are you paying a ton rate, a pallet rate? Is that appropriate to your freight profile? So for example, if you're paying an hourly rate for deliveries, is that necessarily going to create the right behavior in the transport company to get your deliveries done efficiently? So think about the rate structure, whether it's per ton, per pallet, per carton, and try to make sure that that is appropriate for your freight profile. The other thing to think about is the priority of freight that you're paying for. Are you using excessive amounts of air freight or express freight when actually general road freight could do? So go back through your invoice history and see which different sort of priorities you're paying for, which speeds of freight if you like, and make sure that that's appropriate. Because very often the people who are booking the freight will book a higher priority than is really needed. The final thing to think about is to think about how you're presenting your freight to the freight company. Is it easy for them to handle, to load into the vehicles and so on? So for example, if you have some really fragile product that's palletized and it's so fragile you can't actually put other pallets on top of it, you're going to be paying for 2 pallet spaces in that vehicle. You're paying for the volume of the vehicle that you're occupying. Likewise, if your pallets are stacked in such a way and they're shrink wrapped or whatever, and they're uneven on the top and they can't put another pallet on top, again, you're going to be paying for 2 pallet spaces. So think about how you're presenting your freight to the transport company and make it as easy as possible for them to maximize the capacity of their vehicles. So 3 quick things to think about. It's really not about the rate itself. Make sure you're paying the right rate structure. Make sure you're paying the right speed or priority of freight, and think about how you're presenting the freight to your freight carrier. So if you find this helpful, do like and share, and make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'll be talking a lot more about freight as well as lots of other supply chain logistics topics. Thanks for watching.